welcome to Fankhauser Reserve for this round 18 clash on Neefle TV. Mark Kennedy, Will Ralston and Liam Dettering joining you for this clash between the NT Thunder. They are away to the Southport Sharks in lovely Queensland. As we see the opening exchanges, Mallon put on a good tackle on there. Just trying to mop up now. Plenty of players around this contest. And we will have a ball up to start. And gentlemen, I'll start with you, Will. Just a prediction for this game.
Well, massive game for both teams. I think it's going to be Northern Territory just too strong. They're looking good in the early stages.
So we'll see the ball just ushered over the boundary line, and I'll pass over to you, Liam, and your thoughts on this game, of course, 3rd versus 7th with NT Thunder.
Well, NT haven't travelled all that well this year, so I'm the opposite to Will. I'm going to think must-win game for Southport. I think they're going to lift for this game. So
we'll see Gillhouse. He got the ruck contest there. Just running into a fair bit of trouble there is Southport. That was Mallon. No real clear room. Plenty of bodies around the contest. The umpire will ball it up once again. And it is the NT Thunder who are doing the attacking in the early stages. They're kicking to the left of your Neefle TV screen. So plenty of players. Lots of urgency around the contest. Important touches. Big Walbers just tries to get a slipper to it. NT Thunder mop up now. Lawrence has his kick smothered. Just working through there was Grayson. He's been a good player for the Southport Sharks over the last month particularly. And attracting a crowd there. So the umpire will come and ball it up just almost at centre forward. And
we didn't get to touch on it much before the game, but Southport with a raft of outs as well today.
And so that one is going to go to the advantage of Haslam. He handballs back to his teammate in defence, and a little chip goes over the top there. It's an easy defensive mark, but the umpire says play on. Handball comes wide. Rebound 50 for Southport. Turned over there by the Northern Territory Thunder as Bugler picks that one up. The umpire's seen a free kick. It's going NT's way, and so this is going to be Eilert to send it inside 50. He had the first clearance of the game as well, and now his first inside 50. It's all Sharks there though. Big spoil over the top. Will it go through for a behind? Yes, it will. So that's the first score of the game. A solitary behind to the Northern Territory Thunder, but like you said, Mark, they've done all the attacking so far.
They certainly had, and as Liam said also, that we will talk about those big raft of outs for the Sharks very shortly. We'll get a bit of a break in play as we see Hill bring it out to the commentary side. A lovely clubhouse here at Fankhauser Reserve, and that was Stewart who takes a good contested mark in front of Liam Patrick. Just outside defensive 50, goes straight up the line. Just the ball spoiled away from Geary. That's by Long, and we'll have a boundary throw-in right in front of us. And Jason Burge out today.
Fraser Pope.
Yep.
Stephen
Jake Goldsmith.
Yep, so we have a number of key Sharks out. Ruck contest, both men going at it. Vassell gets it across there to Davey. In turn, gets it to Captain and Eilert. He can go inside forward 50. He has a good target. Patrick jumps high. Stewart just mobs it up momentarily for the Sharks, and it was Rioli, Shannon Rioli, who gets it inside to one of the two prolific goal kickers for the NT Thunder in Dunn. So opening minutes here at Fankhauser Reserve Saturday afternoon, and Chris Dunn will be able to shoot for the first major of the day for the NT Thunder.
It's quite a swirly breeze out there today as well. It's quite hard to read, pushing just to the left of screen.
Goes back. Goal umpire likes it, and it's the first one of the day. So they are away and running, the NT Thunder. They're first, and it is a 1 goal to 8 points to Southport yet to score.
And you mentioned Dunn, one of the focal points for the NT today. He's been a really good foil for Darren Ewing this year. Of course, kicked his 500 Thunder goal last week, and only their 6th year in the competition, which is quite incredible for him. But both of them over 40 goals this season. Fantastic contribution between the two of them.
And I might have got that scoreboard wrong. 1-1-7 is what the scoreboard's telling me just at the moment. So Neefle TV, and welcome to Saturday afternoon here on the beautiful Gold Coast at Southport's home ground, Fankhauser Reserve.
And so we didn't get much of an opportunity to touch on it, but it is 3rd versus 7th today. Massive consequences out of this game. Both teams really need to win for different reasons, really, but it's a pivotal clash for both clubs as the umpire balls that one up in the centre. Eilert was held on to momentarily. Patrick's going to get on the end of this fluky ball. He swings around onto his right boot, puts it inside 50. It's going to land at the feet. Well done by Hill. He rebounds brilliantly for Southport. Puts it onto the chest of Clark. He wanted to play on. Umpire says he has to play on now. Little kick over the shoulder. It's going to land with McCanch. Ball bobbling around. Clark to mop up. He's in a bit of trouble here now. Wants to see it over the boundary line, and that is where it's going to go. So we're going to have a boundary throw-in on the outer side. 2 ruckmen contesting this one are going to be big Will Wolbers for Southport and Jonathan Miles, former Southport player for the Thunder. And it's Wolbers that wins that one down. Massive bodies there. The umpire's going to see that one up again, you would think, and he does. So just on that wing position.
And we've played pretty much the whole opening 5 minutes of this quarter inside the NT attacking half. They're well on top of the clearances early.
So that one comes down again. Again, another Thunder clearance. Ball bobbles around once again. Strong tackling so far from the Thunder. Has Haslam, puts a fluky kick up. It's going to land right in the middle of 2 opposition players. Trying to burst his way through was Wells, I think. That's another ball up on that outer wing. And Southport really struggling to get clean possession so far.
The ball goes up again. Wolbers gets a backhand to it. Eilert cops one high. That was crude. And he will take the free kick. A tough competitive customer. Haslam gave it away for the Sharks, and it will be... Won't in fact be... it'll be Roe Duggan, I should say, who got the free kick.
Lawrence spreading well on this near side here.
So the ball now with Davey. And go back towards Bugler. Not sure where to go. He just wheels somebody forward. It was long and well measured for long. And he goes around on that left foot. Goes inside forward 50, looking for a big target. They had numbers back there. Did Southport, and Keller runs it over the line. And just an errant forward entry, one would think there, Liam.
And a really good matchup, I think, inside the NT forward 50 with Keller manning up Willie Rioli. It'll be really interesting to see how that one pans out today.
Ball back in. Give that one to Miles, but no great significance. Eilert's underneath there. With him there's Headland. Just stacks on the mill now, and the umpire will ball it up. NT Thunder doing the vast majority of the attacking these opening exchanges.
Plenty of players around here. No one in Southport's forward half at the moment as Southport look to win this clearance. It's going to be Mills that tries to clear it just towards the boundary line. Should stay in momentarily, but that's going to be a boundary throwing 50 metres out from Northern Territory's goal. So Eilert has had plenty of balls so far. Be the leading possession getter, you would assume, so far. He was pretty prominent last week as well. 29 touches and a goal against Sydney. No clear winner in the ruck contest. A couple of hands on it. A couple of players taken high, pushing the back, says the umpire. So it's a Southport free kick, and it's going to go to Wells, I think, but Northern Territory make it a bit of a mission. So Adam McKenzie looks to the wing. That's a good kick. Hits his target, so Wolbers and a couple of juggles takes the mark in front of the opposition number of Harris. Handles back to Headland. He has a bit of room to play on, so he goes further up the line. Big contest there. Baxter affects the spoil. Lockwood at the feet of it. He can't pick it up, so the handball comes through to Salter. That one was smothered, and it's going to be another boundary throw-in.
And just with Goldsmith out of the side today, it looks like both ruckmen are going to spend the entire majority of the game swapping between full forward and the ruck.
First time really in the Southport's attacking area. Not even inside 50 though. Forward half of the ground. Wolbers over the top. Trying to come through there was Baxter. Ball ends up with Clark. Now they go inside forward 50, looking for a target. Floating in there was Geary. Couldn't quite take it. Wells almost infringed upon, gets it again. He was looking to feed it off quickly. NT back in numbers, which is good signs for them. Baxter tries to come through, and in fact it's Geary who was coming through. Copped a high tackle and can go back and shoot the goal. At 45-degree angle. He'll kick from about 30 metres out, and what'll be a good goal. Any thoughts upon how strong this wind is, Liam?
Well, it seems to be blowing straight back towards us. Oh, he's looked to pass off here. Well done.
He has. So found a target
Josh Baxter,
in
it looks
Baxter.
like. But that was a really smart play, wasn't it? Because that pocket, the wind was blowing right back against him. Probably going to be a difficult kick. Bit of lax defending from NT. He let Baxter get out, and he's got a much more gettable shot than what Geary did.
Been in reasonable form since he's come back from injury. Josh Baxter. And come in, what one would think would be a pretty elementary shot. Makes the goal umpire work, and I have absolutely put the mocker on him. And that's their first score for the day. The margin is 1 straight goal, 7 playing 1.
But already you can see Geary, he's hovering around the forward line again like he did against Redland, as that kick comes out of defensive 50 to the mark of Gilhouse. He looks down the line, he's got Lawrence there on the wing. So Lawrence just waves up his options, takes a moment. To an outnumbered contest, that's a good spoil over the top there by Keller. And another boundary throw, and plenty of stoppages in the early stages. Keller was one of the prominent defenders in Southport's last game against Redland. And like you said, Liam, he's taking William Rioli today, who kicked 2 goals against Sydney last week. So the ball comes in. Another throw-in, says the umpire.
So that Breeze is going to play havoc all day with the boundary umpires on this side.
So a little bit more oomph about to come in from the boundary umpire. Walbers and Gilhouse. Just keeping front spot there was Walbers, but it was Gilhouse with a little bit of the advantage. There's Lawrence underneath it. And Callanan, he's giving away the free kick and pushing the back. And it is his opposite number in Lawrence who will take this.
Sloppy tackle from Callan, and there was no need for him to dive in like that.
He goes inside forward 50. Ewing's there, but he's got a couple to beat. Got hands on it. Here's Rioli, just taken over the line and taken high. So he will take a free kick. And William Rioli will be the man. He's pretty happy to back himself by the looks of this.
They've just been really undisciplined so far, Southport. So many free kicks against in terrible places to be giving them away.
Rioli comes, he starts it to the right spot, and it's a beautiful kick. That is absolutely judging it to a T. He started it just in front of the goals, and the wind just brought it back beautifully to put it right over the goal umpire's hat. So that's NT's second goal for the day, 2-1-13. To Southport for 1 point.
Well, I was going to say, if you wanted it in anyone's hands in the NT lineup, it would be with Willie Rioli from there. He just knows how to do those really clever things that a lot of other players can't do. And he didn't even give a second thought to passing off. He said, right, I'm going to take it on myself and I'm going to kick this. Went back and did it to give the Thunder a 12-point lead.
So like I said, he kicked 2 goals last week, Rioli. Gets his first on the board in the first quarter as Brennan wins that tap down for Southport, but it's only as far as Vassal. He handballs back to Anchors. Puts it to a bit of space. Mallon should get there first, and he does. Takes on the tackler, as he usually does as well. Ball comes out, spills free. Little's there for Northern Territory. But like we've seen plenty of so far, another stoppage, more contested footy. So this will be a ball up on the wing position. 2 rucks go at it again. 1 down by the Thunder. They win the clearance as well. Patrick's underneath it, takes a pretty comfortable mark in front of Stewart. So Patrick can go inside 50 here. Enjoying a dominance in play so far. Just want to get a few goals on the board to give themselves the luxury of a comfortable lead. That one has been turned over by Mills. And so he'll be able to hit a target in Wells. Wells has been popping up a bit so far at either end of the ground.
Right in the back pocket, looking for options. He's hemmed in a little, and a free kick's been given away. It's off the ball by Hill, and it will go the way of Lawrence. So Hezekiah, Lawrence, he'll come around. I didn't quite see the initial incident.
No.
But it might have been in for a high shepherd is what I can only conclude. So Lawrence, he'll go back. Had a good sight from Rioli earlier and made a meal of that one.
I'll tell you what, that's a sigh of relief for Luke Hill because that was dumb football from him.
Just never really looked likely on that set shot, did he? Just a couple of steps in, didn't really get any momentum and just leant back and completely pulled it to the left.
So Hill, he brings it back in, looking to redeem himself, up toward Nevin. Keller just had it, gave a good handle off to Headland. Now to the Enigma, my man in Mallon. Goes down the line, looking for a teammate there in Geary, who's been playing at half forward recently. Mallon, who's followed up well, just kicks a kick away in front of Bugler, goes up towards Baxter. The sun in his eyes, couldn't quite get it. Bosley Black off to Islet now, and the NT Thunder away, and this is done at half back.
So Chris Dunn capitalising on a bit of misfortune there from the Sharks, but he's turned it over just as easily, so that's going to come inboard to Headland. You can look over the top. That's going to look like another turnover momentarily. Handball comes out to Wells, getting another possession on the board. That kick comes over the top to McNevin. He's got a couple of runners there if he wants them, and he does. Little chip over the top to Grayson. Todd Grayson, 22 touches, 7 tackles last week. Inside 50, it's not going to hit the target, but Wells there following up brilliantly. He could have a shot from there on the left, but not enough. Hooked it just quite a bit too much.
Got Southport players everywhere with their hands up, saying, should have given it to me. Brennan was all by himself at the top of the goal square.
And so that is another behind for Southport. They are now 0-2, trailing the Thunder by 2 straight goals.
Bosley Black, he got it from the kick in of Islet. Goes down the line. Be right in front of us here. We'll get a good look at it. Lockwood goes high. So does Stewart and knocks it out of bounds.
Good spoil by Stewart.
Yeah, it's a couple of times he's really killed the contest, hasn't he? One early on in the game where he rushed through for a behind, and that one there just to put it over the boundary line.
Just got higher than anyone else in the pack.
So Brennan got it down well. Islet was coming through but couldn't take it with him. Callanan's over the top of Islet now. This ties him up. And a bit of feeling in this game. And we will have the ball up once again. No real clear winner of that contest. Grayson takes it with one hand. Islet just dislodges it from Grayson. Headland now gets the run of the ball, set upon, but manages to get it away. This is Crowley. Off to Mills. Mills up towards Baxter, and Baxter's got a little bit of time. Gets a good handle off to Callanan. Callanan's got one further afield. Finds him now in Geary. Geary goes inside, looking for Wells. Can't quite get the ball. And it is Wells buttering up there. Plenty of players arrive. The Cavalry, and the umpire will ball it up. Inside the Sharks 50, 25 metres around from their goal, right on that outer side boundary.
Just starting to get a bit of momentum now, Southport. That was a great handball by Baxter to find Callanan running free, and they were just setting up for what looked like a scoring opportunity. But it's going to be the territory to send this one in the opposite direction. Running after it is Liam Patrick, former Gold Coast player. Beats 2 of his opponents, turns Mills inside out, but in doing so, he also travelled out of bounds, so it's going to be another boundary throw-in. Right in front of the scoreboard, we've seen a few out there. So again, it's going to be Walbers and Miles. Walbers tries to flick it over the back. It's been taken by Rioli. That is going to be Anchors who puts it inside 50, but it's a wobbling kick. No target really at the feet of it. So Keller can handball back. Southport are going to work this one out. Kick down the lines to a contest. That almost was a strong mark. Burst through there was Hill. No, it was Callanan, sorry. But the umpire's picked a free kick and it's going Southport's way.
Come back. Crowley, I think. Crowley. The kick wasn't a good one, but it manages to find a target. Brennan gets it off to Mills. Former Lion. Off to McCanch. McCanch just chips it. And Fankhauser Reserve here. Haslam has it. Gives it to McCanch. He's really hemmed in here. Has to find a target and does well. 2-on-1 and easily knocking it over the line there was Bosley Black, and it'll be out of bounds 45 metres around from Southport's goal.
This goal, they really want to get one on the board here to capitalise on some good work in the last 5 minutes. Northern Territory kick it wide. Mallon takes an uncontested mark just on the forward flank. So he'll look to send this one inside 50 as well. Straight back out, but it's gone down the throat of Wade Mills. He can handle back to Mallon if he wants him, but he doesn't. Elects to go back. He's 60 metres out from goal. Looks for a target. It's going to be Geary again. He's everywhere inside 50. Well done, Mills, and well done, Geary. He plays on quickly and looks for his big teammate, and that is going to be Kieran Brennan.
That one, he waited, found the target in Geary, who's led up really well to start this game, and he did 2 weeks ago as well. He's one of their best. And he just fed off the ball again like he did before, and he found the big ruckman, Kieran Brennan.
Tries to ride the wind, but they've really struggled so far in front of goal, Southport. That's their third behind, all from set shots. And Northern Territory can rebound this quickly.
Similar play from last time. The ball came full house. Big man Mountaineers. Looks like more like an outhouse than a gill house to me. So he's working it through. And Liddell tries to bust through. Plenty of players around this contest. And a bit of strong arm tactics going on. Working through there was Montlock. Couldn't quite extract himself from the contest, and we'll have another stoppage. And third time's a charm.
So one down by Gillhouse. Winning the clearance was Motlop, bursting guns. And so it's going to be a boundary throw in 50 metres out from Northern Territory's goal. Northern Territory. So it's been a pretty frustrating quarter for Southport. A lot of undisciplined free kicks. As Little puts it inside 50, no one can take the mark. This one inside 50.
He goes, he's got a target too. It's a good one. And it will be Rioli, William Rioli, into his third.
And that's why Wesley Black was so highly rated last year, went so close to being drafted, but just a great defensive act, and then laced out Willie Rioli, who'll go back now looking at his second.
Kicks from 40.
In a way that would suggest it was going through for a goal, so I can see how you thought that was going through.
And it will be a point, and Southport bring it in, and now it's with Callanan, still inside his defensive 50.
So Callanan, Boyle on it. Well played there by Wesley Black. Just palms it down, does well back to anchors. Handle over top is intercepted. So Mallon now. He's touched off the boot, and so it's going to be a boundary throw in. Superb defensive effort there from Nick Burton.
Players just a bit unsure actually where it went out, so they'll converge where the contest is. Now the ball goes in. Good, mop it up, and now Bugler's away. He's had his second bounce, couldn't quite take it on that second one. Goes up towards Mackenzie on that outer side. He takes it in front of McNevin, just backward of centre outer side. Goes down the line, and the kick wasn't a good one. And right on the outer wing there, where we see on the Doug Hannell Memorial scoreboard, the lead is 2 straight goals to the Sharks.
So the Sharks, like I touched on before, it's been frustrating, just inconsistent in front of goal, as Walters can't get that hit out to a particular teammate.
Well, I should have said there was 2 straight goals the lead for the Thunder. That's what I should have said before.
So it's another boundary, another ball up, I should say. Was that a high tackle against Vassal? Umpire wants to see it balled up again. So it's 2 goals, 3-15, leading Southport. Yet to score a goal, 3 behinds. 12-point lead to the Thunder, nearing the later stages of this first quarter here at Fankhauser Reserve. Crucial game for both sides today in terms of their appearance in the finals in a few weeks' time. That's a free kick to the Thunder. So it's going to go the way of Motlop, Aaron Motlop. He's got players screaming for him to effect the switch, and so he does. This is going to be Bugler. Played a big game in defence last week against the Swans. He goes further up the line. Just bounces in front of his teammate in Wesley Black, who's been prominent early. That's going to be turned over by Hill again. He's done this a couple of times. Well done, Hill. Looks for Wells it was, but he spilled the mark. Good tackle there. Was that a free kick? No, says the umpire. Hill really deserves something here. Chases up again. Baxter tries to burst his way through. Looks for a little kick. Nothing happening, so it's been turned over again by the Thunder. That's going to travel out of bounds off the boot of Alwyn Davey. And so it's going to be a free kick. This one going to Nathan Kenny. An inclusion this week.
And Kenny, we had him down the book initially as 41. He is actually 36 for the Neefle TV viewers. Kicks it up towards Baxter, but now it's Vassell. Gets it off to Dunn, off to Motlop, has his kick smothered. Burton was dragged off it, and I don't think there was any doubt in the world that that was a free kick going off to Burton. Done a couple of good things in his first quarter. And he's looking for a target. Again, being forced to go up the line. The handball wasn't a good one. A little bit of pressure applied because he hesitated. And the ball out of bounds and 60 metres around from NT Thunder's goal. And we'll see if they can add a quick one before quarter time.
Disappointing handball from Burton. Bit of a waste of an opportunity there. So you think that Southport just want to hang on here because the scoreboard would suggest it could be a tiny bit bigger than it currently is. So the handball comes from Gill House. It's going to go to Roe Duggan. He puts it inside 50. And there's the siren as Southport take a defensive mark. So 2 goals, 3-15, leading Southport 3 behinds. And what do you make of that one so far, Liam?
Well, I think the Southport will be relatively happy because, as you said, the Thunder's had the majority of the play, but kicking with the breeze, haven't quite capitalised, and to only hold a 2-goal lead, I think Southport will be relatively confident that they can peg that back into the second quarter, Kanga.
That's exactly right, and a breeze of quite a bit of advantage, you'd think. Going the way of the NT Thunder in that quarter, they were able to put on 2 goals, 3-15. Southport the 3 behind, so it's a 12-point lead to the NT Thunder at quarter time. We'll be back after the quarter time break to see what Southport can make of this breeze here at Fankhauser Oval on Neefle TV. And welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve for the start of this second quarter. The first quarter sees the NT Thunder lead 2-3-15 to 3 solitary behinds for Southport. Mark Kennedy joined by Liam Dettering on special comments and my co-commentator Will Ralston. And Liam, an interesting first quarter, and Southport get the chance to use the breeze.
Certainly, I'd expect Southport to come out on top in this quarter, as you said, with the breeze. They missed 2 very gettable shots, so they should be even closer than they are now.
So the umpire bounces down for the second quarter. Grayson trying to burst his way through. It's going to be Mallon that picks up the loose ball. His kick was smothered, so a lot of players dive in there. We're going to have another ball up, inside the centre square. Quickly around the grounds. Redland on top of Queanbeyan by 51 points, but the game we've got our eyes on here in the commentary box is Sydney Uni versus Ainsley. It's a 5-goal lead to Sydney Uni at 3/4 time. That's got a massive implication on the finals layout if Ainsley lose that one. As we see a high tackle there going the way of Southport.
Well, it's really a massive incentive for Southport, isn't it? If they win and Ainsley lose, they go straight back into the top 6, which will be great for them.
Now that kick was very dangerous. Burton's dropped a mark he maybe should have taken. Southport have the numbers there to work this one out, and Hill once again makes a brave defensive effort there. His wobbling kick bouncing just in front of the Northern Territory player. He handles over his shoulder. That was Rioli. Number of Sharks there again. Clark applies a tackle. It was a bit high. The umpire's going to see it balled up right in front of us here again.
And that was a terrific defensive rebound there from Hill. Just went straight for the boundary line, held up just inside, and they're forced to stoppage. Great play from him there.
Ball up again. Gives it one Gillhouse. Bit of force. Ends up with Motlop, who got it from Dunn. Ball inside forward 50. William Rioli works. Keller under the ball. Gets it up to Ewing. Just works his opponent off the ball. Can't quite take it on that occasion. Trying to come through there was an NT Thunder player, Burton, well wrapped up. He's done a 360, he's done a 720 almost, and he is pinged. So Liam Patrick will take the free kick for a very good tackle, a good defensive effort, and it'll be a brilliant start for the Thunder if Liam Patrick can go back and kick a goal.
Thought Hill did really well to hold his position there in front of Ewing there, but just unfortunate that Burton couldn't get the ball to boot quicker, Will.
Yeah, well, Burton's done a couple of great defensive things so far, but that's his second or third absolute howler, and this one's going to give up a shot to Liam Patrick. Southport had a few from here.
So Patrick comes in, the kick looks to be a good one, and the goal umpire agrees, and the NT Thunder get one would think, a cheeky one against the breeze, and one that could be a bit telling considering Southport couldn't kick one against up that end in the first quarter.
Yeah, Kieran Brennan had a shot from almost an identical position, and they had one from not too far out as well. Southport saw a couple of set shots that were awry at the other end, and Liam Patrick made that look far too easy, so pushes that to a 3-goal lead.
So 3-3-21, playing 3 solitary behinds. The NT Thunder have got a nice little buffer early in the game. 3 minutes gone in this second quarter.
So Gillhouse will be going up for the Northern Territory here. He had 30 hitouts last week. Also a member of the Sample Team of the Year in 2013. And he's able to win it down, but it only goes as far as Mallon. He puts a wobbling kick just to the edge of the 50. No one can take a mark. Chasing after 2 players here. One of them was long and he wins the ball. Hamble comes back. Taken on the play there was Godden. Hamble comes to Vassell, but it's been turned over. Clark, he finds a teammate to Mills. Hamble over the top. McCanch can't take it cleanly. He's met by a gang tackle. Vassell was there. Smother. Salter. Looks for Mallon again. Bursts his way through in characteristic fashion. Wosley Black can't find a teammate. Haslam can't find a teammate. Ball's just bobbling around like a pinball game at the moment. Ball spills out. It's going to be Wosley Black to rebound, and his handball comes over the top, and this should be a bit more promising.
Well, it was waxed there, and he got it from Harris. Now the ball, they're out and away. Here's Liam Patrick. He can go inside forward 50. This time finds a target in Ewing. First time we've seen Big Buff Ewing. Kicked his 500th goal in NEFL competition last week. Probably a little bit too far to roost this into the breeze today. So he goes short and finds a target in his co-conspirator in Chris Dunn.
That was far too easy, wasn't it, for a 450 entry, and all the players to leave free. Chris Dunn.
Well, they'd all dropped deep, the Southport defence, expecting the kick to come in long, just left a massive channel for Dunn to lead into, and Ewing just speared it onto his chest.
So Chris Dunn spins the ball in his hand, does the Dennis Lilly run up, kicks it high into the breeze. Doesn't look like it'll get the distance. Miles came over the top, but there he is, Vassell. He swooped on it down the front, and with that trusty left foot, has put it through for a goal. And they're second of this quarter, and they're fourth for the game. And warning signs for the Sharks yet again.
Just very ordinary defending, really. The kick came up high into the breeze. Southport really should have killed that one. I think it was Brennan there, didn't make enough of his physical presence. Should have knocked that ball through, but just let the NT player come over the top of him there. And it was a great crummy goal, great finish in the end.
So 4-3-27 to 3 behinds. The NT Thunder, they have the lead. And interestingly, boys, I know we have a number of outs for Southport, but Southport have lost their last 2 home games here, and it's the only 2 home games, so I want to get a bit of a run this way.
So it's just starting to creep out to a dangerous 24-point lead now for Southport. The Northern Territory Thunder with the ideal start, as Grayson's going to win this one. Handball came from Wells, kicks to space. So a couple of players in pursuit there. One of them's Wosley Black, who's probably been best on ground so far. Sam Godden with the handball, takes on the player, and that handball is going to go wide, out of bounds. And so it's a boundary throw in. Southport hopefully going to set up for an attacking move here.
And just with those Southport outs, I reckon we've seen Grayson play further up the field than he's used to this year. They just haven't had the usual run and drive that they've had off the half-back line for much of the year.
So Miles and Brennan. No real clear winner of that one. Here's Rioli. Motlop, I should say. And Aaron Handball just doesn't find its target, and it goes over the line. That was Shannon Rioli, who was involved in that play just before.
It's a creative handball by Lawrence. Almost looked like a throw from here, but just got a hand on it.
Ball in again. And Brennan at the front, although you'd give that one to Dunn. Up towards, just went to ground. Burton, who probably didn't need to. Ewing worked his opponent off the ball, trying to gather now. He's managed to get the right foot and dinks it up the line, and it's out of bounds. So the NT Thunder looking to attack yet again.
So we're 7 minutes into the second quarter now, and still the Sharks yet to score.
So we'll give that one no real clear winner. And Mallon, sloppy handball, Mills to Burton, has a target McNevin. Traffic coming the other way, so a big clash there. Kenny's around there, but now NT Thunder swoop, the ball high in the air. Just the Southport players spotting each other. Patrick stays down. The handball comes out to Eilert. He can put it to rest. He does. It was touch off the beat, but it doesn't matter because Dunn's there and he kicks another. So a comedy of errors from the Southport defence, and has resulted in a NT Thunder easy goal to Chris Dunn, and a good bit of team play there by Eilert to get it over to Dunn.
Well, it was just another really awful piece of defending, as you said, Kanga. Stewart came over the top of his own teammate there. They had three going up yet again. I think a couple of times in the Redland game also, defensive errors like that cost them, and it's costing them here early in the third quarter. The Thunder have kicked 3 goals against the Breeze, really starting to get on top here against Southport, and it'll be interesting to see if they can turn it around, because at the moment they don't look likely at all.
I think you've got every right to be critical, Liam, because the season's on the line here, and for that goal there was an absolute debacle from Southport. Plenty of defensive errors. So it's going to be Gilhouse that wins that one down. It's another easy clearance for the Thunder. Kick comes inside 50, and it's going to be taken comfortably by Roe Duggan. It's a difficult shot. This breeze is still blowing strongly right into his face here, so I'd be surprised if he was able to get the distance. He's going back, looking like a set shot. And he passes again. Once again, a hole opens up. And that is far too comfortable for the Thunder.
Well, we just saw a lot of off-the-ball stuff there from Southport. They were getting involved in a lot of niggle. And look, they've just left 2 free targets. Oh, got it. Made it look difficult there, Chrissy Dunn. But he's, what is that, his second for the day? So Third for the day. So Southport just mucking around with that off-the-ball niggle stuff, leaving free targets all over their defensive 50. Just really poor from them. They look like they're really carried away, don't look like they're focused, and the NT are just taking full advantage at the moment.
So you could see once Roe Duggan had taken the mark inside 50, he just 2 teammates were able to open up. There were 3 marks inside 50 within the space of a minute, and that's just ridiculous defence.
And the 2 blokes you don't want to leave free at all inside the attacking 50, Ewing and Dunn, they're going to make you pay every time.
So it all to do for the Southport Sharks. And the Thunder are really making a bold statement here this afternoon. Haven't been great on the road traditionally this year, but looking to build towards that final foray.
I just wonder if their match 3 weeks ago against the Lions, where they managed to hold on by a point against a pretty strong Lions outfit, has given them a lot of confidence, and they seem to be obviously well on top today.
The ball up again there. Gillhouse with strength. Mallon has a run of it. Busts 1 tackle, busts another. Not sure where to go, but finds a little bit of room now. Gets the ball back in the middle of the ground. Gillhouse just probably ducked where he should have stood up high. Lawrence can mop up for the NT Thunder. He goes off wide. Has a player now in McKenzie. Has done further afield. He's already got a treble of goals today. Back to McKenzie. Up and finds Eilert. So some good play into their forward 50. We'll see what Southport's defence is up to now. Goes over the top. There's Eilert and finds McKenzie yet again.
This quarter is a training drill for the Thunder.
Well,
It's been scintillating so far.
It's worked so much harder offensively there. Once Mallon had turned over the ball, they had McKenzie and another number out there. I can't remember who it was, but they just had 2 free forward of the ball. They passed around nicely there. McKenzie looking to give off again. Southport have them manned up though.
So plenty of numbers back inside the forward 50. So to suggest there's no excuse for the Southport defence. McKenzie though chooses to shoot at it. The kick looks a pretty good one. And from that angle, we saw other players pass off. He backed himself and has kicked a beauty.
Well, that's the second terrific goal from a tight angle here for the NT. We saw Willie Rioli in the first quarter, and now Shaq McKenzie, who's been terrific all year, won a Rising Star nomination, would be one of the favourites, I'd suggest. Not sure how the other guys are going to vote, but he's one for me who's really been good for them through the midfield. He's had a really good patch over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
So 7-3-45 leading Southport, the 3 solitary behinds, and despite a lot of strength being sapped through injury from this game from the Sharks, you wouldn't have picked the scoreline to this point.
So it's another centre bounce. Mallon doing all he can to try and bring his team back into this, as is Wells. But the umpire determines that Wells had dived on it, so that's an unlucky free kick, particularly at this point of the match. And so it's going to be Vassell to play on his left boot. He puts it back inside 50. That's where it's lived this quarter. Coming out to meet the ball there was Ewing. He handles to his Batman and Robin partner in Dunn, but he can only put that very high to no one's advantage, and so it's going to travel out of bounds. Now, we've been touching a lot on Southport and how disappointing they've been this quarter, but we've got to give credit where it's due to Northern Territory. They have been absolutely dominant. And this game is significant for them because they're equal first on points, but just in 3rd position because of percentage. And finishing top 2 has massive consequences
As we're
come the
seeing
finals.
a big injury there. Chris Dunn hobbling off the ground as the ball comes back in. Here's Davey, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Chris Dunn just on the one leg, hopping, looking for some assistance to get off the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't want to put any weight on that right ankle.
So the ball goes back into play. Still in NT Thunder's attacking area. Mills just got the ball that spilled over the back. Now's a little bit of green space at the back there. Wasley Blackdoe is there to mop up. Go on his left foot. It's a great kick. And finds a teammate in Vassell. Not sure where to go. Just decides to chip over the top. Finds Eilert. So midfield warriors. Vassell and Eilert. Eilert goes up forward now, looking for Patrick. Couldn't quite find a target. NT player fell over 2 Southport players. No free kick there though. Crowley wrapped up, and we will have a ball up 40 metres out from the NT Thunder goal.
Chris Dunn on the sideline here. He's going straight down the race, I believe. Looks in a world of trouble.
So here's another opportunity for the Thunder. Ball off to Vassell, just goes to the top of the square and just belted over the line there. So another point, another dangerous play there for the NT Thunder. Extends their lead now to 43 points.
So Hill just barrels it outside 50. Mills there didn't get a touch on it, and that just sums up this quarter for Southport. It's going to be a free kick to the Thunder from a kick-in. To take it is going to be William Rioli. He's kicked 1 goal so far. And they've kicked plenty of unanswered goals this quarter, and that was another easy forward 50 mark for the Northern Territory Thunder. They've kicked 5 unanswered in the first 15 minutes of this quarter. So taking this one is Motlop, I believe. From about 45 metres out. Motlop gives it plenty of height. It's not going to make the distance. Someone needs to kill it for Southport, and they do. Anchors is there in the pocket. He's going to wheel around onto his right. Sorry, it was Anchors, but that ball has been turned over and it's been taken by Headland, so he should be able to set up a rebound attack.
So Headland goes wide, clubhouse side of the ground, finds Geary. Looking for some inspiration, the Sharks. The kick isn't a good one. McKenzie gets high. Salter's well wrapped up there, so keeping the pressure on are the Thunder, and the ball will be thrown up yet again. Walbers and Miles. With that one to Walbers, coming through, or at least trying, is Haslam. He's wrapped up beautifully there by Vassell. And another ball up. Walbers with the long arms. Go gadget. Vassell copped one high. Umpire says no. And again, we'll go up with the umpire.
I think we're just seeing the difference between the two sides in the tackling intensity. Whenever Southport get the ball, just an NT plays straight on them. But the amount of times NT's just been able to have a clean clearance is astounding. Good
tap there by Walbers. Got it down to Grayson, but he was set upon by Davey. And yet again, kept in the area by good defensive pressure.
Liam, what do you think Southport need to do from here to make up this 7-goal deficit?
Well, it's just effort. At the moment, we've seen NT completely outwork their opponents, and it's just run, and it doesn't matter who you've got on the field. That effort can come from anyone, and we just haven't seen it today.
Well, that was a good example there by McNevin, forced to throw there against his opponent in Bugler. So McNevin puts it towards the 50. Geary tries to force a spoil. At the bottom of the pack there, it's going to be a ball up right on the edge of the 50. But obviously, Liam, the injuries to Southport today have played a major factor so far.
Certainly they have. Sorry, I'll let you keep calling this one and I'll get back to you in a second.
So Geary handballs over the top to Baxter, back to Grayson and Burton. He's got a teammate wide. I think he's looking for Keller. But it's going to be Long that gets a spoil, and so it's going to be the Territory Thunder to run away with it, but it's been turned over to Mills. Mills looks for McNevin, finds him. 60 metres out from goal, wants to hit a target, looks for Geary. And it's been turned over once again. That was easy for Lockwood. And it's going to travel over for another boundary throw-in.
But yeah, Will, as you were saying with the injuries, when you take a Burge, Pope, a Luke Shreve out of the side, obviously you're going to struggle through the midfield. And they've had to use Grayson in a position he hasn't been played in this year. Mills again in the middle, like he was 2 weeks ago. I think they're just lacking a bit of drive from that half-back line that they've usually had.
So Gillhouse just got it down to Vassell. Callanan holds the ball up, trying to clear it. Brennan misses a target, but finds McCanch eventually. Gets it down there. Baxter was there, but was outnumbered. Here's Geary. Can turn around and finds a good target. And surely this will be the first major of the day. And it is Adam McKenzie who has the ball and will shoot from directly in front, about 25 metres out.
Well, it was set up by Geary, and I think he's been close to Southport's best today. He's led up really well and had a lot of the football.
So McKenzie butchers it, is a nice way to put it. So that is a horrible miss as we see Bugler bring the ball out for NT Thunder. And eventually the ball will come across with Wosley Black, and he's away out of defensive half of the ground.
So Wosley Black looks up the line. That's a strange kick. Goes right in between two Sharks players. So it's going to be Keller that works his way around the opponent. Salter goes even further back, and it's going to be spilled by his teammate in Crowley. It's gone out of bounds. And deliberate, says the umpire. That is salt in the wounds. So Rioli to take an easy intercept kick. Finds anchors. Further up the line, he's got Ewing.
Just got to hold this one up now and wait for the numbers to get back.
So as we've seen so far this quarter, it's just a matter of who they want to find inside 50. He decides to go back to Lawrence. He's got Eilert in the square if he wants him, but he decides to go further afield to Little. He goes back to Long. The Thunder just toying with them at the moment, doing as they please. Bugler. He's got Lockwood wide. Lockwood takes the mark, but he plays on immediately. He's got Eilert in the square. And that's a smother. This could be a setup here for Southport. Geary gets the handball from Brennan. He's got Burton. Handball goes behind him, but the handball comes back to Geary. Is he going to be tackled? Yes, and it looks like a momentary turnover. The Sharks are able to clean up. What can they set up from here? It's just going back and forth at the moment. That kick's going to go to McCanch. Oh, brilliant spoil there by Little. Over the back is Long. Well done there by Keller. But it's a ball up about 20 metres out from Southport's goal.
Unusual to see Keller down that end of the ground, actually, boys too. So they have been forced to make a number of changes. Ball goes up yet again.
Should have been a free kick off the ball there.
Yep, absolutely. Should have gone to McCanch. He actually gets it again. Feeds a handball off. Clark was well wrapped up there. McCanch took
I don't like
his
that because
opponent out of the play unnecessarily and was unlucky in the first instance, but paid the price in the second. So Roe Duggan gets it off to Vassell. And as Liam Dettering was about to say, I'll read his mind, as it was a horrible miss by the umpire in that initial stoppage.
well, he missed a really obvious one and then gave the one that was a 50-50 the other way. So you can see how Southport would be feeling pretty aggrieved at the moment.
Now Little, he has it. Just on his defensive 50, goes backwards to Long. Just looking for some targets. Up the line, or up the middle there. Finds anchors. Anchors away.
Oh, well done.
And Keller comes in, intercepts. What can he do? Goes inside forward 50. The kick looks well measured. Geary's on the end of it, and I was gonna say, I'm not sure what to say because it's almost a surprise that they've kicked one. They had to do it from the goal line to finish, but it was Callan Geary. Again, Southport's probably best player and a co-captain for today. He kicked Southport's first for the afternoon, and the lead is minimised somewhat to 6 goals or 36 points.
And you mentioned Keller playing a bit further up the ground. He's going back into defence now, but that was terrific play to get the intercept mark and then just a perfectly weighted kick over the top to Geary. Strolled in and kicked the easiest of goals, which is not something we've been able to say about Southport because they've made the easy look impossible at times.
Well, Keller's just given them a bit of a spark there, and finally Geary's been on the end of one because he's set up about 3 that have been absolute sitters just to see them butchered by his teammates. So I'm glad he's able to get the first on the board. And like you said, just for competition's sake, let's see if we can make a game out of this, because this quarter has been one-way traffic. The umpire's going to recall that bounce. Accuracy has cost them this season as well, Southport. Giving up some easy shots. Bursting away is Davey, former Essendon player. Could have been a trip there going Southport's way, and they've just got a bit of momentum up here as Mills puts it high. No one can take the mark, so Lawrence is chasing it. Gathers the loose ball, handballs to a bit of space. Harris turns onto his right boot, puts it to the wing. It could be a free kick to either of those players. The umpire lets it play on. Burton does really well. Finds a loose player. It's Clark. He puts it inside 50. Can he take the mark? No. It's going to be turned over once again. The Thunder to rebound. Looks for Lawrence. Goes over his head. So chasing it here is going to be Roe Duggan. But he's tackled strongly by Burton.
Bugler and Mosley Black have absolutely dominated across that half-back line. A number of rebounds between the two of them, and their ball use has been a feature for the NT today.
We see a Southport player now coming off the ground in Regan Salter. So 1 each from the injury count point of view. Lawrence feeds it out to Davey, off to the big Gillhouse, forced to scramble it away, didn't do a good job of it. Mallon goes off the ground towards a nippy little Clark, gets it off to Keller, almost breaks a tackle but manages to get the kick away nonetheless. Goes over the top of Geary, Lockwood couldn't take it. Here's Crowley, feeds it back. And now it ends up with Mallon. He can run into an open goal, and that's a good one. And that's a better build-up to Southport there, and they had their second. So all of a sudden, 2 in a row, and you get a little bit of a sniff back in the game, and 2 goals for, playing 7 goals for. The margin is now 30 points.
And Eddie Mallon, another one who I think's been terrific for them today. He's just tried hard, really competed well in that midfield. He's sort of given them that hardened edge that they've been lacking. And if the rest of his teammates sort of get on his coattails and go along with him here and lift their effort, I think we'll see a much better response from Southport. Yeah. Last 2 goals of the game, much better stuff from them.
It's the one thing you're guaranteed from a player like Eddie Mallon, a constant level of effort. And it was a tackle by Haslam there on Big Gilhouse that caused the turnover. And I think the intensity has just gone up about 10% for Southport, and they're just getting the reward for it as Mills tries to earn that clearance. Mallon again, the one we've just been talking about, kicked the last goal. That's a brilliant defensive mark by Julian Lockwood with the one-hand ping. But that's a dangerous kick. Rioli does enough. Rioli, 6 inside 50, 16 touches last week. He's got his teammate in Shaquille McKenzie. He's kicked 2 so far. So McKenzie, all he's got ahead was his teammate in Wosley Black, but it's been turned over. It was a bad kick. This one is going to be Kenny. Handballs inside. That was McKenzie. Burton, back to Mallon. Loses sight of it for a moment, but he bursts through traffic. Mallon, it's a wobbly kick. Who's it going to land with? Is that Baxter? Can't take it. Wells, can he spin around onto his left boot? Yes, he can. Swings towards goal. It's offline, and it's only a minor score. Geary wanted it. And that could have been 3 in a row.
Wrong option, really. He needed to lower the eyes and hit up a target there. Just poor play in the end and missed another chance for Southport.
So Peris has it. He got it from full back. The kick's close to the line, but Rioli takes it inside. That's William Rioli. And go inside again and finds Lawrence. The kick wasn't a great one. Put Vassell under pressure. Off towards Lockwood, just burst through, and here's Lawrence. He got on the end of it. Well, beautifully planned play, I reckon, as far as Lawrence was concerned. Ewing had the ball come in a bit high, so it was easy to mop up for the Southport defence. Lawrence, terrible 50-50 kick, and Vassell's away. Just not sure where to go. Off to Davey. Can go back to Vassell. Back to Davey again. Has Rioli. Shannon Rioli in the middle of the ground, and they can just bring it backwards, hold on to the ball, and this is with Peris just backward to centre now.
So Peris, that's going to be another turnover, you'd think. Well done by McNevin to spoil Anchors. He follows up the loose ball. Well done by Anchors as well. He's found a teammate somehow. So still a few mistakes creeping into the game with the Thunder here. There's just a bit of pressure on them now, and they're just starting to feel it. It's going to be a ball up, and all of a sudden, just by applying a few more tackles, a few more pressure acts around the ground, Southport have made a game out of it, and it's back within under 5 goals as we're 28 minutes into this second quarter.
So Brennan down to Rioli. Shannon Rioli takes it away, gets off to Lawrence. Well wrapped up there by Burton, but Lawrence was able to keep his feet. This is Callanan, just squeezes one forward, but nobody's there for the Sharks because Lockwood, for the NT, takes the easiest of marks, and he can go well backwards to Bugler. As a man further afield, it's Godden. Just sits up in the breeze, does it easy. Ewing on the big lead. We won't see him up on the wing too often. Just evades his man in Hill. Goes on the left. The kick wasn't a great one because although it bounces very well for Vassell in between 3 Southport players, Patrick provides some support now to try and tie the ball up, and all of a sudden a crowd arrives, and I was going to say it's going to be a ball up, and now I believe it will be. So closing minutes of this second quarter, and the margin is 29 points to the Thunder.
And the NT have done that really well today, just flicked the ball out the back and switched it. It was just a poor kick from Godden which didn't hit Ewing there.
Ball comes down, Patrick gets it away, squeezes it. Goes off towards Wosley Black, breaks a couple of tackles, finds Shannon Rioli, can go inside forward 50 now, looking for William Rioli, drops what he should have taken, gives it off quickly to Rode Duggan. Keller does well to wrap him up, and the ball now run over the boundary line, and it'll be out of bounds with the NT Thunder attacking inside their forward 50, 40 metres around from their goal.
Just a bit casual from Rioli there. It looked like he thought he had the metres and just expected to mark it, but put down the simplest of chess marks.
So that ball in right inside the forward 50 for the Thunder. Anchors swoops onto it. Left foot kick, but it should be taken by Hill, and it is. Lucky diving mark there by Hill. I thought it was just going to bounce in front of him.
He's done a really good defensive job on Ewing today, though.
Yeah.
I think he's been one of their best, along with Mallon and Geary.
Without Hill, you worry what the scoreline would be at the moment. That ball travels over the back. McCants just ends up with it. Brennan tries to bash it forward, but it gets bashed in the other direction. Islet's there for Northern Territory, and there's the siren for half-time. So it's taken Southport about a quarter and a half to start playing the football we've been accustomed to seeing from them. But now, as we head into half-time, it's down to a 29-point lead, and guys, I think we might just have a game in our hands in the second half.
Well, they'll have to hold them in this third quarter because they'll be kicking against the Breeze. They did it pretty well in the first term, and they'll have to probably do what the Thunder did to them in that quarter and kick a couple of goals against the Breeze and get it back to within maybe 20 points at the last change. But certainly the last 5-10 minutes of that quarter, Southport were much more competitive, much better.
Well, Southport have given the NT Thunder a start here in this first game, or the first half, I should say. It is a 29-point lead at half-time to the NT Thunder. It's 7-4-46 to Southport 2-5-17. You're on NEFL TV. Make sure you rejoin us after the half-time break. We'll have the third quarter and the expert comments of Liam Dettering and the commentary of Will Ralston and myself, Mark Kennedy, and we will join you right then on NEFL TV. And welcome back here at Fankhauser Reserve for this painful TV clash between the Northern Territory Thunder and Southport Sharks. Southport being the home side here. Beautiful Gold Coast. The breeze going to the left. It's a 29-point halftime margin to the Thunder as we see Southport and Wade Mills bring it out of the centre. That was Wells, who was well wrapped up there, and the umpire will ball it up again. So Mark Kennedy joined by Will Ralston and Liam Dennering. And Liam, Southport with a bit of work to do.
Certainly, Kenga, and they've just got to really hold the NT here against the breeze to have any chance, as we said before the halftime break.
So another stoppage, just on the point of the centre square.
If anything, this breeze has got even stronger after half-time as well. We can really feel it up here in the commentary box.
Ball up again. We'll give that one to Walbers. In Gillhouse have had a good tussle. Islet and Vassal wrap Malin up. And yet another stoppage. It's been a feature of the afternoon from the NT Thunder there. Pressure around the contest.
So big news coming out of that second quarter. Around the grounds, we had Ainsley losing to Sydney University, which is a significant result for this match here.
Of course, and we'll see that Wade Mills has kicked that out of bounds on the full, and what that means is that Southport can get their act together and get it across the line today. They will get back into finals, into the final six, and really give themselves a chance to play the business end of the season. So we see Islet with the football, and still at half back. Goes short, has Gillhouse, but just drops what he should have taken there. Walbers picks it up cleanly to Mills. That's his third champion data stat in this third quarter, but it only goes as far as Bugler, and the NT Thunder will again have the chance to rebound.
So, the left back flank for the Thunder.
Here goes the barrel.
How's that for a torpedo? Straight down the line. Looking for Rioli, but it's going to be Keller to scoop that one up. But it goes out of bounds, right in front of the commentary position here. Also in that second quarter, there are injuries to Chris Dunn and Regan Salter. They both don't look like coming back onto the field. That one's going to end up with Malin. He bursts through traffic once again, puts it onto the boot. That's going to go to plenty of space there. Geary might end up with it. Chases down a loose ball. Handball comes out to Lawrence. Does well to trap it on ground level, but applying the tackle was Malin. Handball comes out. That's Grayson. No, it's Clark, sorry. Puts it high inside 50. Wells takes a strong diving mark. Just outside 50, Wells facing this tough breeze. He wants to hit a target. Looks inside. It was for Baxter. Chasing the ball is Haslam. Ball spills free. They might have a shot here. Baxter can't get his hands on it. Lawrence applies a tackle, and that's well rebounded there by Bugler. And he finds his teammate. And they might just work this out through a series of handballs. Long back to Lawrence. And he's got his teammate in Islet just inside the square.
So Islet goes to half forward. Good punch there from Keller, but only finds Anchors. Goes up towards Ewing. Just got the one big mitt on it. Now gathers it with that same mitt. Goes off towards Davey. Just corralled. Grayson. Now he tries to put on the afterburners. Goes off towards Anchors. Anchors goes right to the top of the square and can only find a Southport player in Stewart. And Stewart can release. Goes off towards Mills. Mills on defensive 50. Has Haslam just in front of Mackenzie. Good contributor was Mackenzie in that first half of football. And the kick isn't the best one. It's a difficult day. Vassal wrapped up there. Plenty of players around it again. They all arrive in numbers. And the ball not going anywhere. Baxter well wrapped up there, and we'll have a ball up. Out of side, not far from the scoreboard, which tells us there's been no addition to the halftime score. A 29-point margin to the NT Thunder.
You just feel like the first goal here is going to be very significant. And that was Rioli who burst away from the clearance there with a long driving kick, but has been bashed back to the centre square. Taking that one is Paris. He spins around, puts it long down the line. He wants Patrick. Getting back is Keller. He's done really well. Spins out of danger. He's got Reese, not Reese. He's got Grayson there if he wants him. And it's another boundary throw in.
NT controlling the play, but I think a much more competitive start from Southport, which has been good because this is exactly what they needed to do, make scoring hard for the NT in this quarter.
Over the top, we'll give that one to Gillhouse. Mallon lays a big tackle. The kick came out quickly, but out of bounds on the full. Might pick up who the kick actually came from. But we'll see a Southport kick, and it will be Crowley who can take it. Goes as long as his kick will allow the ball, and a very nice mark there. Taken that time by Stewart. Stewart looked for a target, but just standing there, standing his ground. That was Rioli. Or Motlop, I should have said. Now to Wasley Black, now to Vassell. So building. Southport get back in numbers though. Goes off towards Ewing. Goes long though. Mills is there with the big fist and rushes it behind. So that makes the score an even 30 points, or 5 goals the difference. 2-5 playing 7-5.
Well done there by Wade Mills to spoil that one over the line. He gets the ball here from the kick out. Has a bit of room to gallop, so he just puts it to the wing. It's a dangerous kick. McCanch does well. Strong mark. Eilert gave him a little bump as he went to stand on the mark. Is that 15? Just. So this is going to be Jake Keller. Keller, not much presenting for him, so he has to go right back. It's a dangerous option, but it's worked out pretty well. That's Stewart. Oh, that's a terrible kick by Stewart, though. Turned over to McKenzie. Wheels one way, then the other. Handles outside 50. The kick come inboard to Vassell. On his left, 60 metres out from goal. It's a wonderful kick to Eilert. That is pinpoint perfection. And Eilert's going to have a shot for goal from about 35 metres out.
And again, we see that an error from the Southport defence, a poor kicking error, has resulted in this shot at goal for the NT Thunder.
It's happened far too many times today, really. That one came from Darren Stewart. So Eilert kicked a goal last week, yet to get on the board so far, but he is now. Puts it out to a 6-goal lead. It is now the Thunder 8-5-53 leading Southport 2-5-17, and that's the goal that Southport didn't want to concede.
Well, you just wonder if that's the goal that'll break the resistance, because they held out for 7.5 minutes, but just they've been peppering the forward 50, the NT, and to get reward for their efforts, great for them. Out to a 6-goal lead, can Southport hang on?
Plenty of questions and of course plenty riding on this game. Southport with the opportunity to move back into the final 6, and the NT Thunder a chance to move up into second spot with the win today. Beautiful bounce by the umpire. No real clear winner of the contest. Bodies around there. Godden is around there. He's in there again, wrapped up. And we'll have a ball up. It's Salter, who's back on the ground for Southport, who laid that heavy tackle. Give that one to Miles. Just slipping, but getting up was McKenzie to McCanch to Haslam. Now they go forward. Not real clean, but it was there just the same. Gary's in hot pursuit of Bugler. Ball just flipped off by Bugler. Well done to Lockwood. Goes over the top. Having to sit there, lovely effort. Good stretch there was Little. So Little goes up looking for Ewing. Just didn't work through there well with Stewart. And it was Ewing who gave it to Patrick, and that is a costly and telling goal for the NT Thunder. A costly one for Southport and a telling one for the Thunder. And that, if that hadn't broken the camel's back, I think that does.
I think we've just seen the difference in the two. Well, one of the differences between the two teams is the strength of the half-back lines. We saw a really important 2-on-2 win there by the NT at half-back with Lockwood and Bugler working it out terrifically. And then when Stewart had the chance to take the uncontested mark across half-back, just completely misread it. And he's made a couple of mistakes today. I think he's been quite good since he's come into the side, but just today I think he's been well beaten by Liam Patrick, who obviously finished off very nicely there at the start. 7 goals now, the margin.
And so, just in a matter of minutes, the Thunder are able to undo all the good work that Southport did at the closing stages of that second quarter. And it's very hard to see them coming back from a 42-point margin now. Thunder taking advantage of this strong breeze as the umpires have to work out with a patron from the car park how to get this ball back onto the field. It was Roger Merritt, I've been told, that kicked it back to them. His son Ben Merritt is on the list for Southport. He's not out there today.
Essendon strongman and of course a Brisbane Bears captain, or Brisbane Lions captain, or both.
As we see another centre bounce. So Wolvers won it down. Southport should win the clearance, but it's been turned over again, I believe. So Motlop chasing this one, back and forth. Headland spins around, puts it to the edge of the 50. Geary goes up for Southport. Might be Lawrence that applies the tackle. Wells stands up. Ball bobbling around. McNevin. Mackenzie. Left foot kick to space. Geary's on the end of it. Tries to keep it in, but it's only for a moment. Travels out of bounds 50 metres from Southport's goal.
Just lacking the quality of finish just at the moment, Southport, to really try and place some pressure on the Thunder, who have been terrific today. So ball back in. I'll give that one clearly to Wilders. McNevin is wrapped up. That time by Vassell. And again, a stoppage will ensue. So in the forward half of the ground for Southport. Miles, he takes it. Gives it off to Roe Duggan. Has a little bit of space. He can go further afield. Headland stands underneath it and takes an easy chest mark. Again looking for options. And now asked to go. Straight back from where it came, up towards Big Wilders. Didn't quite judge it well to get both mitts up on it. Bugler now has a bit of space. He has a bounce. Can go long, up towards forward 50. Backing back there was Keller. Just working through there. Ewing was around the contest. I'll try and bring it out here. Here's Mills. Chain of handballs ends up with Headland. And the ball now with McNevin. Still backward as centre. The kick was a terrible one. Places enormous pressure on. Grayson mops it up to Headland. To McNevin. Back to Clark. Off to Grayson again. They're not sure what they're doing with it just at the moment.
Oh, no.
The kick's not great. Haslam is there though and just gets it. And he'll go over the top now, looking for Geary, who's been lively at half forward. I haven't minded his game at all today, and he is still backward as centre, so there's a fair bit more for them to do just yet. Goes up towards Wells, who drops what appeared to be an easy chest mark, and the ball's out of bounds right in front of Southport's coach's box.
So Wells, that's a disappointing drop there. On the end of a pretty nice kick from Geary. He's been a shining light for them today. Walters wins it over the back. Mallon tries to burrow through. Spills out to Clark. Handle comes over the top to McCann. He wheels it around. No, he doesn't keep it inside. So it's going to be another boundary throw in. Identically from where it came from just before.
And Eddie Mallon, just really impressive there again. He just has such an ability because of the way he rolls those shoulders to get the hands free, and he did it again there. He's been just a barometer for effort in there. It's a pity none of his teammates have really come along with him today.
So it's going to be Gilhouse to win it down, but McCanch picks up the loose ball, kicks to a bit of space. Baxter's been pretty quiet today. He'd love to get a goal on the board. That was a loose handball, and it went to Wosley Black. His kick is only as far as Mackenzie. Adam Mackenzie, an inclusion this week. It's a well-weighted kick. It was to perfection for Geary. And it looks like if Southport are going to kick some goals to close out this game, it's going to be Callan Geary who's going to be involved each time.
Certainly will. He's been Southport's best by a mile for me, but just Aaron Mosley-Black, I think the wrong decision there. He had the numbers and he just had to keep paddling it along the ground because he was going to get support, but just chose to kick it and turn over to Mackenzie, who spotted up Geary really nicely there.
So Callum Geary, it wouldn't be unlike his teammates to be able to miss from here, but he really shouldn't. And he does. That is a typical Southport kick today. This is them out to 2-6, and of those 6 behinds, you'd almost say all of them were pretty gettable.
So they come back in as Bugler. That was a horrible kick of his own, and that's out of bounds without being touched, so Southport will get a chance to reload.
Well, that's been the set play so far, hasn't it, today, King? From the kick in, they found Mosley-Black in the pocket, they just overcooked it on that occasion.
So it was McCann who goes wide, and Bugler gets the fist on it and out of bounds. So at least will stay in Southport's attacking area. And they'll be looking to put a little bit of something on the scoreboard to narrow this margin. And in a hurry. The ball back in. They're under Gillhouse. Mellon wrapped up Eilert. He still manages to squeeze a kick out though. Working through his Motlop. Or Rioli, I should say. Here's Grayson for Southport. He's well wrapped up there by Mackenzie, and that's dropping the ball, and probably could have been advantage even. Anchors had the ball and was running forward of the play.
Anchors wasn't happy with that at all.
So Mackenzie decides to go well backwards into his own defensive area to Bugler. Goes back to Mackenzie. And now it should open up. And there's Bugler there. Oh, sorry, it should be Mosley-Black. Look a bit alike. Over the top now, finds Long. Not sure where to go. Look to give it. Goes short to Eilert. Was dropped there. Pressure by Mellon. Wells is on it. Going towards Baxter. The handball wasn't a good one. Lockwood's there. He just shuffles it out, and the umpire calls it a throw.
Lucky. Particularly lucky for Wells because he had the run there and he had 2 teammates alongside and really should have worked something out much better than what eventuated. But now Baxter has the opportunity to have his first real set shot of the day.
A bit far out for mine, given the strength of this breeze.
He thinks so too.
Goes short. Goes over the top of Eilert. Eilert now works underneath it, gets a good handball away, finds Vassell. Vassell stands in the tackle and then regathers himself, goes over the top, finds Lockwood. So just a little bit surer coming out of the defensive end, the NT Thunder. And Lockwood is at half back, goes over the top and finds Roe Duggan still on the half back on outer side.
So Roe Duggan looks inboard to Motlop. Back to Roe Duggan, sells the dummy. He does really well there, Roe Duggan. Down the line. Rioli's underneath it, can't bring it down. So Clark to clean up, looks inside. Sorry, it wasn't Clark. This is Clark now. Didn't pass to himself. Looks for Burton, he slips over, and that's a bad turnover for Southport as Eilert just sends it down the line to Patrick. Can't take the mark though. Would have been a costly turnover. Mills looks for Kenny. It's a poor kick. Kenny's taken on a few tackles, could have been pinged. Headland, ground level, it's gone out of bounds. So just repeating the score from earlier, Ainsley have defeated Sydney Uni. I'm sorry, I've got that wrong. Sydney Uni defeated Ainsley. But what that result means is that a loss here today to Southport still keeps them in the finals race, but ever so slightly.
The ball back in. Patrick at the front against Brennan. Crowley was in there. Famous Southport name. Here's Lawrence for NT. Just evades the Southport player, but could not evade the boundary line going over, so we'll have number Australian.
And Will, what that result also means is Sydney Uni still a very faint hope. They're equal on points for Southport now, and the 2 teams have to play next week in Sydney, so that's another massive game for Southport coming up.
Give that one to Brennan at Southport. McCann, he was over the top of it. Lawrence is there as well. Kenny gets it off to Haslam. He just bustles it forward. Contest there. Plenty of numbers for the NT Thunder. Mosley-Black just turns and goes bang and puts it inside. Forward 50. Ewing leads the race in front of Hill. Hill now has a bit more of a run of it. The ball goes out of bounds on the clubhouse side of here of Fankhauser Reserve, and we'll have a throw in just on the forward 50 for the NT Thunder. We've played 19.5 minutes of this third quarter here. Beautiful sunny day.
Ball comes in, Miles gets a hand on it, doesn't really go to anyone in particular. But kick comes out from Anchors, underneath it is a pack. Mills wins a loose ball. Or is that holding the ball umpire? He says no. And as a result, it's going to be a scrappy ball to be thrown up right in the heart of the 450 for the Northern Territory Thunder.
And just terrific forward pressure again from the Thunder. That's been a real feature of their game. Their tackling has been superb today.
Haslam gets a loose ball. He's strongly met with another tackle, as Liam just touched on. That's Liam Dettering, beautiful journalist, giving us special comments today. So that was Brennan, got a hand on it. Mackenzie spins out of trouble, does really well, Mackenzie. Is it high down the line? Big pack there. Most of them are Thunder. Ball spills for Crowley. He looks for Mellon. He's shoved out of it. Wosley Black doubles back. Back to Wosley Black. Spins again. Would have been a Houdini effort to get out of there.
Well, he looked to cop one high in the end, and just terrific play from him again. He's been terrific off halfback. He's absolutely dominated that matchup with Josh Baxter.
The ball back in now, right in front of us here, the commentary position. Brennan picks it up, squeezes the handball out. Now, as Mellon and Anchors there, and the ball runs over the line once again. Scrappy affair today. A bit of breeze playing a part in that, but otherwise beautiful sunny day here on the Gold Coast. Ball went over the back, and it was Mackenzie, wrapped up by Little, and the umpire will say it was a push in the back, so Mackenzie will take a free kick. Mackenzie looking inboard. The kick just finds its target. That's Kenny. Goes back to Hill. Back to Kenny. And just shuffling it around. Looking for a target. Got one there this time in Salter. Went off in that second quarter. Looked to be in a bit of strife, but has come back in. Off to Clark. Haven't really seen a lot of Clark today. Chips it over the top, finds Stewart. Are they building? We'll see in just a moment. So Stewart, wobbly conveyance. Crowley couldn't take it. Here's Wosley Black, gets it off to Long. Has a good left foot generally. Puts it over the top for Rioli to run onto. That's Shannon. Ball bounces, stays in though. Kenny misses his target in Headland. Patrick evades one, runs around Headland. Now goes on the left. Off towards the teammate in Bassel. Paris is there as well. The tackle comes from Southport, and he's in trouble, I would have thought, and the umpire agrees. So good tackle from Southport, and the NT Thunder are made to pay, and Headland will be the recipient of that kick.
So Headland in the back pocket, told to play on. Vassell was there to apply a bit of pressure. Will that stay in? No. Another costly turnover from Southport. Very disappointing. It's been a disappointing performance all round. They've only got 2 goals, and we are 23 minutes into the third quarter here, as that kick goes back to Jack Long. They have the luxury of just chipping it around their back line. Bugler to Anchors. Both of them have been solid in defence today. Shaquille McKenzie can't take that loose kick. So picking up that one is Crowley. Nick Crowley puts it to space. Geary can run onto it. Can he kick a goal? It'll be his second. Handball's to a bit of space. Turned over. So that is going to be Lawrence. Drop mark there by Shaquille McKenzie. But he gets it back. Taking on the tackler there was Lockwood. Another turnover. McCanch, can he find a teammate? Mallon's deep. Mallon can't take the mark. Gathers the loose ball. Can he kick a second? Handballs to Geary. And they've finally got one on the board in this third quarter through Callan Geary. Handball came from Mallon, and between them, they've kicked every Southport goal today.
Well, there hasn't been many, has there? Well, 3 for the day. today, but just their two best players on the day combined there. Mallon did superbly well to gather the ball, fend off with the handball off to Geary, but I think NT, just with the lack of pressure they faced today, were a bit casual coming out of defence. Shaquille McKenzie on two occasions probably should have done better, even though the kicks weren't quite to him, and on the second turnover it cost them, and Southport kicked their third goal for the day.
So the margin narrows. And of course, Southport will kick with the benefit of a pretty useful breeze in the last quarter. So they'll be looking to add another one before three-quarter time. We've played 25 minutes of this third quarter. 59 playing 24. And the ball back in the middle. Gilhouse, just uncontested, hit it through. Here's Davey, former Essendon speedster. They couldn't quite gather it. Mills just buffles it up, and Gilhouse.
Yes.
He took the mark, but it was a push off the contest, and it will be a kick to Adam Clark.
Well, Lawrence went for mark of the millennium, but his opponent wasn't even close to the contest, so it's really strange, and I'm glad the umpire that was 50 metres away from the action noticed it, because it was a clear free kick.
So Clark has a player out wide, uses Kenny, he's got Headland further out, and now they go up the line, have Callanan. We've seen a lot of him today. As Mills, who's pushed up, gives it back to Callanan. They can run, break the lines here, they can go over the top, up towards Mallon. Has the run of it. Working in there is Rioli, and a player didn't have it, and that will be an elementary free kick. It was actually Little who earned that free kick there.
So Little in the back pocket, beneficiary of that free kick against Eddie Mallon. Stewart. Oh, that was almost cleaned up by Ewing there. Lucky he didn't connect with that elbow.
He got his own teammate there, Gilhouse, holding his wrist.
Yeah, it was very strange there by Ewing as Grayson enters the forward 50 now. Looks for Geary. Can't take the mark. No one can take the mark. Mallon. He's met by a strong tackle. And it's gone out of bounds once again. They're finishing this quarter quite strongly as well. As we see Mallon just taking his time to get up from that contest. So it is a 36-point lead, 27 gone in the third quarter. Wolvers wins it down. Burton gathers it from the clearance. Tackles strongly, gain tackle there by the Thunder. Stewart's underneath it, he can set up from here. What can Southport do in the final stages of this third quarter? He looks wide, underneath is Grayson.
Pushing back hard in numbers, the NT Thunder.
As you'd expect them to do, they'd want to hang on to this 6-goal lead. So Clark looks for Wells. Can he take it? Yes, he can. Good forward entry. And so once again, giving themselves a glimmer of hope.
And that was a terrific kick from Clark there. NT had just set all their numbers back in the goal square, and they left that massive hole for Wells to lead into, and it was a great kick from Clark there to find him.
So if Wells kicks this, you just never know, because with this breeze in the last quarter, if you can bring it back to 5 goals, it would make it somewhat interesting. Stranger things have happened. But I would think Wells would need to kick this goal. Looks all right off the boot, gives it a bit of height. Will it carry? Umpire says no.
Took a long time to make his decision there.
Craig Starcevich asks who was on the goal line for Southport, and I agree with him as the barrel comes out from Northern Territory.
Goes over the top, so it opens up for Liam Patrick, and they're away. Had a player in Rioli. Now he uses him by hand. He can run onto it. He approaches forward 50. Goes around Headland. Has a target inside. Overcooks the kick though. Callanan will mop up for Southport. Has McNevin. He uses him now. Get it back again. On the left foot. Goes further up the field. Has Keller. And he just gathers. Callanan, good running all of a sudden. So they're away. Off to McKenzie. Has a bit of space. He can again push forward. Goes up towards a target and backs up. So a little bit better movement that time.
Certainly, King. That was the best that moved the ball all day, and Baxter not confident here. Looks to get a bit of extra distance.
Gives it to Clark. Not sure where to go. Has the leg speed to get around though. And the siren beats them, so a costly little hesitation. And it is Southport who are just hanging in there by the skin of their teeth, one would think. It is 59 playing 25, so 9-5-59 playing 3-7-25. It is a 34-point margin here at Fankhauser Reserve, and Liam, Southport really have a job in front of them to pull this one off.
Well, if they want to feature in the finals this season, this is really the game they have to set themselves for to win, and 35 points in arrears. It's just the faintest glimmer of hope. If Wells had kicked that last one and Baxter had maybe realised how little time there was and gone back and had a shot, they could be a goal closer. But you'd think NT have it here, even though they're kicking against the breeze, they should have enough to hold on.
Well, they need to at least triple their output of 3 goals so far for the game in this last quarter, with a strong breeze backing them home. You never know, but we're going to see you in about 5 minutes' time on the back of this 3-quarter time break. It is Northern Territory leading Southport by 34 points.
Welcome back here to Fankhauser Reserve. It is the umpires have conferred, and it is a 35-point margin to the NT Thunder at three-quarter time. Mark Kennedy here, joined by Liam Dettering on special comments and co-commentator Will Ralston. And boys, Southport will be looking for a massive last quarter.
Well, just in time, the breeze has really picked up. I can tell you it's quite chilly from our commentary position, and they're going to need to use all of that breeze in this last quarter to get back in the game.
So, just about to get underway here on Neefel TV, last quarter. And Walbers gets the first tap away for Southport. Mallon picks it up wonderfully there. Ball comes off to Salter. They go inside forward 50. There's Geary just over his head. Bugler was there to mop up. Lockwood, who gets absolutely laid in a beautiful tackle. And the ball goes out of bounds. And what was a good couple of seconds start by Southport putting it in their attacking area.
Well, Eddie Mallon was like a bull at a gate there, and a great clean pick-up, and he got a really good handball out there. I think it was to Regan Salter to get them going forward, and just Geary ran himself under the ball there. So good start for Southport.
And that's what they need to do. They need to attack this contest with everything they've got, because Ainsley have given them a chance today. It would be very amiss of Southport if they were to let it go in such a disappointing manner today, because that's what they have been. They've been disappointing today against Northern Territory. So Southport need the first goal. They're 50 metres out, boundary throw-in. From a Northern Territory perspective, this isn't a game they want to drop either. As Salter wins that one down, can't take a mark. That's Baxter coming out of the goal square. Ball spills free. Chasing it up is going to be Wells. In the pocket, handballs over the top. Clark can't take it cleanly. Was he taken without the ball? Yes, he was. It's going to be the first shot of the last quarter, and it's going to Adam Clark. He's one of the players who hasn't kicked a goal so far, who is, I'd say, a known goal kicker for Southport.
And it was either clever or lucky, wasn't he? He just didn't take possession of the ball. We'll give him, I think we'll say lucky there. Probably should have taken it in the end, but he gets the free kick, a chance to add a vital goal for Southport with less than 2 minutes gone in this first quarter.
So this would make the match interesting, I think. If Adam Clark can pop this one through, and he rides the win beautifully. Well done, Adam Clark. He kicked 2 goals last week, but he's finally got himself on the board today. And that one brings it to underneath a 5-goal lead.
So quite amazing the way a little bit of effort and a bit of, I suppose, intensity, particularly around that centre contest. And Walbers was able to get his hand on the ball initially, and Southport take it forward. And once they get it down there, it's going to be very hard for them to extract if the pressure's right from the Southport attack.
Well, 2 weeks ago we saw Southport seemingly have control of the contest against Redlands, and then just got run over the top from nowhere. So maybe they can do the same thing for the NT today.
So the ball put down in the middle of the ground once again. Gillhouse this time. This time McKenzie gives it off. Motlop just imparts himself on the contest. Now Godden. He goes with the left foot, and it's Eilert at half forward. Just worked forward. He will go inside the forward 50. Vassell was his target. Overcooked the kick, and it will go out of bounds. Some 25 metres around from the NT goal.
I think if the Northern Territory were to ice the game, I think 1 goal would just about be enough, because if Southport were to pull off the miracle, I don't think they're going to kick 7.
Well, it has been a low-scoring game. So Gillhouse gets it down. Mills gets a quick handball away. Keller was pushed as he kicked it, and it goes out of bounds on the full. So good pressure there by NT, and it will be Godden who can take the kick. Goes short, but the umpire asked him to come back, and we'll have to reload once again. This time he goes inside forward 50. Pushing back nicely, there was Southport, and that was
Jake
Keller. Not lacking courage, that young man.
He's done it a few times today, Keller. Been critical in defence.
Clever knock on there.
By Crowley, off to Wells, up to Geary. So 14, 15 and 16 combining, not in that order. Geary goes inside forward 50, but Lawrence just chips in front of Clark, and Lawrence just mops up.
Brilliant by Lawrence, and it was a critical turnover. Just when Southport looked like they were going to use their momentum to charge towards goal as Islet finds Motlop. Further down the line, he's got Patrick. Takes the mark just inside the boundary line. So Patrick sends it inside 50, looking for a target. Falls short of everyone. Ewing was taken and the umpire's seen it. It's going to be a free kick to Ewing. Still hasn't kicked a goal today. Of course, kicked his 500th last week. Big milestone goal for him. Also kicked 5 in that game last week against the Sydney Swans reserves.
Well, he's been really quiet today, though. Hill's done a terrific job on him, and going back now to line up for his second of the day, I believe.
And this could just about do the trick for the Thunder. He's a reliable goal kicker, and he demonstrates his worth. Kicks his first of the day, and that one pushes it back out to the three-quarter time margin of 35 points.
Well, I think I spoke about it last week when we were watching Cleve Hughes of Redland. Him and Ewing are both guys who don't really need much of the footy to have an impact on the scoreboard, and we've seen it there. Ewing's probably only had 3 or 4 touches today, but 2 of them have been goals, and he's becoming a really important player will be a really important player for them in this last quarter for NT, but that's a really important goal. Southport still just hanging on.
They'll have to get moving quickly because we're now approaching 6 minutes this last quarter. The centre contest will be very important. Good bounce by the umpire. Walbers goes high. Taken without it was Mills, and Roe Duggan was the infringer there. Back off to Clark, so Southport will go forward here. Geary's going to have to go against 2. Here's McCanch, just try to juggle it, got pushed off the ball. Ball outside defence now. Haslam wrapped up there by Rioli, Shannon Rioli, and we'll have a ball up just in front of the Neefle TV commentary position. Beautiful bird's eye view we have up here. Ball up again. There's Brennan. Here's Davey. Off to Shannon Rioli. Gets around Burton. Then rifles one. An errant pass. Now Stewart has it. Has a bit of time to work through. Can go backwards. Does so to Hill. Has a bit of space. Goes over the top. Risky kick. But Callinan's there and up to the task. Has Crowley. Has to dive. Leave his feet, but gets it. Gives it back to Callanan. A little bit more run in his legs, noticeably in the second half. McCanch stands and delivers, goes up with a nice mark. Goes inside forward 50 here. Baxter, the punch came from Bugler. Just paddles it along now. Islet's now in the road there as well. Here's Burton. Good handball across to Geary, to Clark. He's going to have to get going quickly. He does. Only manages to dink it up. And a very nice mark there.
Wells.
That was by Wells. You wouldn't say contested marking is his real strength, but on that occasion, he does very well.
Well, he's a left footer, Ben Wells, so this pocket suits him. He should wheel around.
So he lines up. We'll see what he does here. He goes around the mark, hooks it back, and kicks it. So well done by Ben Wells. And Southport add another. And again, just breathe that breath of life about the contest.
Well, it was the almost instant reply and exactly what they needed, but I was just really impressed with Callanan off the half-back line. They needed someone to take on the game, and 2 efforts to follow up, and then a beautiful kick to find McCanch in the middle of 2 NT players who managed to get the ball forward, and a lucky sort of kick from Clark, but it found Wells who did that really nicely, just knew exactly what he was doing, took a couple of steps around, screwed around the body to bring the margin back to a manageable 29 points.
25. Oh no, sorry. 29, right. I saw the multiple of 5 on the scoreboard.
They just hadn't updated the scoreboard yet, I don't think. But of course, our Neefle TV scoreboard
Of course,
up to date.
Right up to the moment. So back to 5 goals. Just a faint sniff, but they really need to kick the next one and quickly. There's Burton, tries to get a handball out from the clearance. Kick comes heading in Northern Territory's direction as Islet swoops on top of it. Rioli's there, coming out to meet it is Ewing. Both of them overrun it. Hill picks it up, the loose ball, finds Haslam. Ball bounces awkwardly for him. He looks for Headland. Headland picks it up. He goes in the opposite direction and affects a switch. Now he's got Mills, and it's starting to open up now for Southport. Mills looks further down the line. No one's going to take that one. McCanch reads it well. He can pick up this loose ball. McCanch spins out of trouble, but it's all Thunder. Good tackle there by big Kieran Brennan. That was Miles that won the kick. And then he found Patrick on the forward flank. Keller tried to spoil that one. So Patrick to send this one inside 50, just to the edge. It's a strange kick, no one there at all. Oh, but somehow worked out for the Northern Territory. He's found his teammate in Mackenzie, and he'll run into an open goal. I think he snuck it through. Yes, he did. Shaquille Mackenzie has kicked his second, and that is a very, very frustrating and painful goal for Southport.
Well, Roe Duggan just stuck the foot out, the right shoe, and just was able to trap the ball and got it across beautifully to Mackenzie, and he was able to do the rest and basically put this game to bed for mine.
Well, once they thought they'd won the ball there, Southport, all their halfbacks had started to push forward, and Mackenzie was just left standing on the offensive side and all by himself strolled in to kick the easiest of goals, his second for the game. And Southport just can't bridge the gap. They've got within 29 points twice now, but just NT with the reply straight away. They can't string these goals together that they need to.
No, they can't. Eilert over the top of the ball. Mackenzie wraps him up. Manages to get a handball away to Eilert through its strength. Anchors upended. Anchors away even. There's Stewart. Back to Burton. Back to McNevin. Back to Grayson. And then they find a target by foot in Mackenzie. Runs himself into trouble though. Oh, no. This is trouble. Ewing spoils. And now Stewart can bring a bit of sense, hopefully, back to the Southport defence and gives it back to Keller.
So Keller, bit advantageous for Southport to still have the ball in their hands there. Looks for Brennan. He can't take the mark. Eilert just does enough to turn that one over. So running now has got it. On his left foot, looks inside 50. That's a strong spoil. Could be a free kick, and it is. Chopping the arms. They don't like it, the Southport defence. That's Keller.
It's probably fair enough in the end. Just got to the contest a little late and was forced to commit the free kick just to stop Davey from taking the mark.
I think it was a free kick by the letter of the law. Alan Davey, 25 touches last week.
It's been a bit quieter today though. He's one in the NT midfield who hasn't found as much ball as another team. Got a chance now to really seal the game for the NT.
This wind is absolutely galing now. Alwyn Davey looks online, and he's done enough. That should be curtains now. He kicks his first goal of the game, and that puts it out to a 7-goal lead, and you think that would just about do it.
Well, it's what Davey really made his name for in the AFL, isn't it? Just that sharpshooter in front of goal. Spent much of his career as a small forward, but coming across to the NT, he's moved into the midfield and probably enjoyed the extra freedom that's come with it. And he's just such a classy finisher in front of goals, and it's probably curtains for Southport now, Kango.
Yeah, it should be interesting to note as well that NT Thunder kicked the first 7 goals of the game, and since then it's been essentially level pegging. So they let him get away, did Southport, and that's through NT Thunder's terrific play also, but some lapses, defensive lapses, and that has been the margin for the day as we see Gilhouse back in the middle, but Mills takes it away for Southport. Working hard there is Long, he's dispossessed. Crowley just slips a handball away, but the umpire calls that one a throw, and it'll be NT away, and this is Wasley Black who goes over the top, has Mackenzie. Not sure where to go, but goes around a few. Bassel gives it to him under pressure. He just has to go up indiscriminately. Patrick with the big fly, but gave the free kick away.
I think it was actually just a mark in the end of Stewart because no one touched it on the way through.
Okay. Southport have the ball now. Still a bit further afield. I'll take it further down. Down towards the forward line there. Plenty of numbers against Baxter. Godden. That's a 360, but no free kick paid there, and the ball will go out of bounds inside Southport's forward 50 out of side.
So we are 14 and a half minutes into this last quarter here at Fankhauser Reserve. And you think the Northern Territory Thunder have done enough with this 41-point lead to take themselves to the top of the ladder, albeit only for a small moment of time here in round 18. That's a free kick against Liam Patrick on the forward flank for Southport. So, like I said, they are on equal points with the Giants and Sydney at the moment. As Baxter goes up for that mark, he can't bring it down. Applies a second effort with a strong tackle inside his own forward 50. Handball comes out to Islet. Handballs to Lawrence. We've seen a bit of this today. Lockwood, bit of space now. He can take a bounce. Didn't really need to, and then he's put his teammate under pressure in Rioli. And the umpire is going to ball that one up.
A couple of players down in the back play there. So keep an eye on them. I think it might be Roe Duggan down in the back pocket. So Brennan gets the ball away, follows up, has his kick smothered. Gilhouse just tries to tow it forward himself. Now Mills just does well and gets it out to Grayson. Just outside forward 50. He's looking for Baxter. Now he decides to go for home. It's got the distance easily, but it doesn't have the accuracy. And another point for the Sharks.
Quickly around the grounds as well, just updating the ladder positions there. I said they were going to overtake the Giants, but it turns out the Giants had a big win this afternoon. They beat, it looks like, the Sydney Hills Eagles by 48 points, so they are both equal on top of the ladder once again.
So good mark there by Stewart from the defensive kick from the Thunder. Goes back inside to Mills. Dropped what he probably should have taken. The sun might be a bit tricky out there, I'll give him that. Now Stewart comes through, just toes it forward. Callan's in there, Burton fortuitously on the boot there. Now Godden tries to have his pocket picked there by Burton. And now the ball's out of bounds. Just on forward 50 for the Sharks. So breezy conditions, you might be able to hear it in our microphones. Ball back in. And plenty of players around this contest. Now Clark, who just toes it forward, out of bounds on the full, and it'll be Northern Territory to mop up, and it'll be Bugler that can take the kick.
So 17 minutes gone in this last quarter. 40. Stumble over my words, I'm too cold to concentrate. 40-point lead to the Thunder. You see Callan's just gone down there. What appears to be a small complaint, might be wounding or something like that, as Rioli takes a strong mark right near the goal square.
You just feel a bit of stings going on again, don't you? The Thunder just chipping the ball around easily in defence here, but Southport have done pretty well to man them up.
This game has become a bit of a formality now. As Islet looks further up the field to Godden.
I like his game, he's been pretty good off half-back, Sam John.
He has. I feel like he's justified his inclusion today. As Godden weights that kick beautifully back to Islet, who ran hard to receive that one.
And he's sort of had the ball on the string today. Cam Islet, he's racked up probably another 30 touches in what's been another terrifically consistent season for the NT co-captain.
So Islet down the wing. No one goes up for it. Push out. Going Southport's way. So Southport on the outer wing. Liam Patrick, I think, was penalised there in the contest. So the kick goes up. Grayson's underneath it, the only one that contested it. 60 metres out from goal. Nothing presenting. I feel like they've missed Goldsmith today in situations like this. As this kick goes long, Keller can't take the mark. That's going to be a free kick to Northern Territory, I believe. Yes, it will. Yeah, the omission of Goldsmith was a curious one, Liam. I don't quite understand why they'd take him out in a game like today when they've missed a big power forward.
No, he hadn't been in great form coming in, but just I think with the matchups down there, it's been all on Baxter and he hasn't quite been able to stand up as the line forward. I just think Goldsmith, as you mentioned, would have taken a bit of the pressure off him.
So a free kick goes off there to Lawrence. Just caught one high. Goes down the line. The kick's a poor one though, and the Breeze took it out of bounds on the full, and it'll be Callanan, who right in front of us can take the free kick.
I've liked Callanan's second half. I think he's been very strong off the back line.
Goes long, inside forward 50, looking for Mallon. And ball evades everybody and bounces over the boundary line.
And just taking a look ahead to next week, Southport have another really important game against the Brisbane Lions, which they absolutely must win if there are any chance of making the finals. And NT host Aspley in what is shaping up to be a cracking contest, which could decide ladder positions inside the NEAFL top 6.
That's most certainly the game of the round next week, Liam.
Certainly, and you can catch that one. I'm sure the NT Thunder Division will be streaming that one live for all our NEAFL viewers out there.
So ball comes back into play. Closing stages of this game. 2/3 through this last quarter here at Fankhauser Reserve, and we'll have another stoppage. There'll be some tired bodies out there. The wide expanses of Fankhauser Reserve. Mills, third man up. Lockwood, well wrapped up. Managed to get a handball away. Godden, similarly wrapped up there by Clark. And another ball up will happen.
Just a quick update on the injury to Chris Dunn as well. He came off in the second quarter, I think, after 3 goals. He's in a moon boot at the moment on the boundary line. So that could be a long-term injury for him.
So McKenzie just goes with the left foot. Ball came down to Lockwood. Gathers his own handball, gets around. Just working the ball out. That was Lawrence who got the kick. It went high. And a very nice mark there by Wade Mills. Gives it quickly to Headland. Goes off. Dangerous spot. And Geary goes up and gives a free kick away, which is a real shame for the Sharks because the ball went over the back, straight into Grayson's arms, and it will be Long who takes the free kick.
So Long. 21.5 minutes gone. It should be a relatively short quarter. There's been a lot of chipping around. Not many goals kicked. So this kick finds Jonathan Perez. Just inside his defensive 50. High kick, but it does enough. Well, that was strange for him. Jack Holm manages to take the mark comfortably. Eilert wants it, and he delivers. Eilert would have to be best of field, you think. He's been everywhere today. But that was one of his poor efforts, but it still works out as Ankers picks up the loose ball, handles to Lawrence. He comes back to Ankers. Picks up the line from Patrick. Evades everyone with that bounce. Picked up well there by McKenzie. Looks for Ewing. Can't quite find him. The ball bounces in front of Ewing. In the pocket now. Shot for goal. Would have been a miracle goal if he could pull that off. But Burton is able to pick it up, but that smother goes through for a rush behind. Taking the lead out to 41 points.
Liam Patrick's just come off the ground. Just looks like he might have got a bit of a corky. Nothing more serious than that, though.
The ball comes away. Here's Headland. Got it from Mills. Off to Clark. Come out to Haslam. Haslam has a paddock to move. He can go inside forward 50. Does now. Starts the ball right. I think it was a poor shot for goal, to be fair. But in a dangerous spot nonetheless. Here's Captain Courageous, Darren Ewing. Grayson, though, gets it across to Baxter. And Baxter, he gets one back for the Sharks. That's his first for today. We haven't seen much of him today. He's been very well held by Wosley Black. But big Josh Baxter usually slots at least one over the course of a game, and he has done that. Narrows the margin. It's inconsequential though, and it is the Thunder now leading by 35 points.
Well, I think Sam Haslam will be breathing a big sigh of relief because when he got the ball, he had a paddock and he should have just taken off, backed himself and drilled it. But in the end, it was sort of a half-hearted shot at goal, and Baxter did pretty well there to recover and kick his first of the day. As you mentioned, Kangaroo's been really well held down there by Aaron Wosley Black, who's done his draft credentials no harm, and what's been another really good performance from him.
Wosley Black and Bugler, 2 pillars down there in the Northern Territory as Eilert fishes out another clearance for the Northern Territory. That's a poor kick by Godden. He has played relatively good game on his terms, as well as puts over time 50 for Baxter. He's tackled strongly, just manages to get a boot on it. Grayson can't take it. Instead, it's taken by Vassell. Handle comes out to Paris. He's got Motlop wide. He looks further afield. That's not going to be marked. Edwin's there to harass Shaquille McKenzie, who's kicked 2 today. Handle comes back to Motlop, and so they're just treading water in no real rush whatsoever. Brad Vassell spills that one as it comes to Burton. Handle comes over the top. This is going to be Wolvers. Mills looks further afield. Headland can't take the mark. And doubles out of bounds. So now we're 25 minutes gone. Couldn't be all that long left.
Just a bit of junk time as much as anything now, isn't it? And just winding down the clock. And the ball will come back in from the outer side in front of the scoreboard, which sees Northern Territory convincing leaders. From go to woe, it's been McKenzie wrapped up by Eilert. Now Mills just rode a bump well. Burton dispossessed now. Eilert can go at the ball once again. Here's Motlop. Gives it off to Vassell. He goes around onto his left foot. Goes to space. McNevin leads the race. Evades McKenzie. Goes down the line looking for Burton. Goes over the top though and finds Crowley. Crowley goes inboard inside the centre square now. McKenzie. Two famous Southport names, Crowley and McKenzie. Down to Geary. Geary, handball inboard to Keller. He's wrapped up there by Rioli, by William Rioli. Now the ball comes away from Lawrence and gets in the middle of the ground to Eilert.
Eilert's racked up a few in this last quarter. His champion data's increased a fair bit in the last 20 minutes. As Hill just misreads it, so he has to double back. His opponent there is Ewing. Darren Ewing, only the 1 goal so far, so you've got to give credit to Hill's job today.
Well, he's terrific there again in the one-on-one. Just battled really hard and ends up with the rebound.
Here he comes into effect the spoil. It ends up with Rioli. Sells a couple of dummies and does really well. Now he's got a teammate inside the centre square. Turning around is Davey. Puts it inside 50. That is too easy for the Thunder.
And Will, you mentioned it there, too easy, and it's what they've done all day. We don't have the live stats today, but just the amount of uncontested marks they've been able to take and the little amount of pressure they've been put under by Southport in their transition has just been far too easy. And another shot on goal here for Shaq McKenzie, who's played well in patches today, I reckon.
McKenzie puts it long, but it's going to be intercepted in the goal square. And so Southport rebound this one out through the pocket.
And the ball ends up with Salter. That was Grayson who took the mark. Over the top now. Finds Crowley in front of Eilert. Goes towards the middle of the ground. Has Kenny there. The ball eludes him though. Heavy contest. And stuck under players, and the umpire will ball it up. Approaching 28 minutes in this last quarter. So the NT Thunder will go to second spot on the ladder with this win. Away from home, a very important one. Here's Big Gilhouse. Battled manfully. That was Rioli who was wrapped up there. That's to Will Rioli, who has a shot at goal. Never looked online, and it is one behind. So Hilly, as they're calling, just comes outside defence. Geary, look like
that doesn't look good for Geary. He's carrying a shoulder injury into the game, and it just looks like he's tweaked it again.
So Wosley Black kicks it inside forward 50, and Southport are in the way there, and it's McKenzie, Adam McKenzie, who can take the ball from defence.
So Adam McKenzie inside 50, defensive 50 that is. Stewart takes a bounce. Down the line and running onto it is going to be McNevin. I think he's just about justified his selection today. That wasn't his best effort there, McNevin, but he was a late inclusion for Luke Shreve as the Thunder send it back. Ball spills over the top. Mopping up there is Mills. Loose handball, Davey sweeps on it. Turns Salter inside out. Harris looks for Eilert. it'd be fitting for him to set up one more goal, and it looks like he might just do that as he passes to Darren Ewing. He might just get his second on the board.
Well, as you've mentioned a couple of times, Will, it's just been a superb effort from the skipper, Cameron Islett. He's been absolutely sensational for them today, and Buff Ewing lining up for his second, but he pulls it to the right.
So, Darren Ewing can't quite get his second on the board, but he hasn't been required today, has he?
No, well, that's been the impressive thing for the NT Thunder. Done off since half-time, had kicked 3 early goals, and Buff Ewing only the one. And just the way their midfield's been able to step up and provide them with some goals has been terrific.
Well,
they've recorded a very important win, Kanga.
That's exactly right, and the NT Thunder have come away with a good win away from home. It's 12-8-80, defeating Southport 6-7-43. It's a 37-point margin. They held sway all day, the NT Thunder. They kicked with the breeze in that first quarter, and whilst they didn't have a big lead at quarter time, they played a very good second quarter to really take the game away from Southport. They were never able to bridge the gap, and it is an important win to push them to second on the NEFL ladder. And Southport had an opportunity to move back into the final 6 today, but weren't able to take advantage of that. They had a raft of important omissions today, and they will still be in the hunt, but very much on the knife edge, Liam.
Certainly, Kanga. And massive games coming up next week, as I mentioned before. Southport must win against Brisbane and hope Ainsley slip up at some point, because then they've got another massive clash against Sydney Uni the following week. But NT, they return home. They're playing their first home game away from TIO Stadium next week at Traeger Park against Aspley in a 2nd versus 4th encounter, which will have a massive say on how the two teams finish up in season 2014.
Well, enormous ramifications for both sides in this game, and of course, not least of which is the fact that we see in front of us right now Chris Dunn already in that moon boot. So one of the NT Thunder's prime movers and forward spearheads is have to be in doubt moving forward for the next few weeks, one would think. But here at Fankhauser Reserve, it was a comprehensive victory by 37 points to the NT Thunder. From Will Ralston, Liam Dettering and myself, Mark Kennedy, we look forward to seeing you next time on NEFL TV.